Boom shakalaka, what is going on everybody? Randall here from Crypto Love. Today's episode, special Sunday live stream. What is up everybody in the live stream? I see you out there. Lele, Student Loans, Attila, Florian, B. Neary, Paul, all of you. What's up everybody? Thanks for joining us today in this special Crypto Love live stream. Today we're talking about, is Bitcoin about to repeat itself? Also, what we have to look forward to coming up with Bitcoin, because it is a pretty monumental time for Bitcoin. So, we are live. Thanks for joining us, guys. And let's just see. Here we go. Perfect. Yes. So, very cool. Happy Sunday, everybody. You guys, I'm sure some of you are stuck at home. Some of you are working. If you're working, good for you. If you're stuck at home, hope you're keeping busy. Maybe playing video games. Maybe developing yourself, maybe studying crypto, maybe learning trading. Let me know in the comments what you're doing to keep busy during this boring time that everybody has to live through with the coronavirus. Now, today's episode, like I said, we are going to be talking about, is Bitcoin repeating itself? Because right now it feels to me, I like to go by something called market sentiment and also my own personal sentiment. It feels a lot to me that we are going through what we went through in December 2018 when the price was nearing $3,000 mark before it really took off. And people were like, can it really go that much lower? $3,000, miners can't make this much stuff. The price is never going to go up. Yada, yada, yada. Feels a lot like the same thing to me. So let's just give some of you a shout out there, a little active time, so we can see what you're actually doing at home. So, from Barcelona, what's up, Saeed? Love Monaco. How'd you make the big green bar on the right of the chart? That would be, I just edited the stuff. Photoshop. Holding cash to put in at the lowest point. But how are you going to know what is the lowest point? I would love to know what you think the lowest point would be. Wow, 3 weeks started trading on Robinhood, already up 680%. Congratulations, you're one of the few traders that actually wins. Most traders lose. So, anyways, we'll get into things. Feel free to comment. It's an interactive episode, so if you comment, I will respond to the comment. If you have questions, like Florian's question that I asked in the beginning, I will answer that later on. So, before we get started, guys, because everybody's out of work, because everybody may be suffering financially right now, don't sell your crypto. That's silly. Crypto is the newest asset class. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. You don't want to sell those things. The secret of wealthy people is accumulating assets. Hold on to your assets. Do what the rich do. Borrow against your assets. If you need money, you can borrow against your crypto using something like Celsius, which is something that I use. And then you could then pay it off later when you get your job back. This is not sponsored. I just do this because I actually think that Celsius is something good that could help out the community. I'm not promoting bullshit like Bybit, where 95% of the people lose their money, where everybody gets liquidated, even though the YouTubers promoting it are making $250,000 a month promoting it. I'm not doing that. I'm promoting something that's actually good for the community, a crypto-based thing that can help you guys out. So if you haven't, check out Celsius Network. There is an affiliate link I posted at the top of the live chat. So if you use that and put $200 in, you get $10. I get $10. It works out well. But you can borrow against your money, tax-free, and then later on when you're making money again, pay it off, and you can save all your assets. So let's talk about Bitcoin. Guess what, guys? We are in the home stretch of the halving. It's coming up. Check this out. 30 days. Countdown to the block reward halving. Now, for those of you who don't know what that is, come on. Seriously? There are people who don't know what it is? But anyways, basically whenever a new block is mined, which is the computers verifying transactions to secure the blockchain, whenever a new block is mined, whatever computer mines it gets rewarded, at this point, 12.5 Bitcoin. Originally it was 50 Bitcoin, then 25, then 12.5. And in 30 more days, it's only going to be 6.25 Bitcoin. That's going to technically make Bitcoin twice as valuable, because now miners are not going to want to sell it. It costs them roughly $6,000 to mine a Bitcoin now. Well, in a month, it's going to cost them double that, $12,000 minimum. But the hash rate's also going up. So estimates are that it's going to cost miners about $15,000 to mine a Bitcoin after May 13th, 2020. So, what have we got coming up? Well, if we take a look, we are right... Oh yeah, got to hit auto on here. We are right in the zone where on average we would be pre-halving. So normally on a halving, we lose all the way down here and then we'll cross right up here at the halving. We are right on the way to be crossing at right around an $8,500 pre-halving. But that's not what you guys want. You don't want an $8,500 Bitcoin. You want like a $100,000 Bitcoin. And me too, obviously. That's why we all got into this thing. But generally about 6 months to a year post-halving is when we start seeing it breaking the previous all-time high, as happened here and here. So we still have a way to go towards the end of 2021. But there are other things to be optimistic about. You see, these are just support and resistance lines that I made for Bitcoin. And as you can see, we're resting on this $6,800 support, broke through the 7,200, but back down underneath it. So we have to break through there again, and then the 8,100. So we still have something to go there. We are still in a funky hyperwave. If you didn't watch my hyperwave video, you know, people talk about Bitcoin going down to $3,000 or $1,000. Maybe I'll have to move my head out of the way for this one. But based on the funky hyperwave we're in, really the lowest it could go right now is about $5,200 if it was to go down and it stayed in the funky hyperwave that we're in. If you want to find out more about the funky hyperwave, search Crypto Love Hyperwave and you can watch my video on the hyperwave and why we're in a funky hyperwave right now. But the more important things to go into right now are that we are in the block reward halving countdown. 30 days to the halving. Guys, supply and demand. The supply of Bitcoin is going to be chopped in half. The incoming supply of it is going to be chopped in half, whereas the demand will stay the same or more likely increase. Now, if we take a look at the stock to flow model, look at this. Just based on where we're headed, by this says May of 2021, we should be at $100,000 based on the stock to flow model. As a matter of fact, there was this article published today by William Suberg that the Bitcoin RSI has never been this oversold pre-halving. If we take a look at this chart, zoom in a little bit, this is the Bitcoin Relative Strength Index. And you can see these colors are the number of months to the next halving, where a lot of months is in red, few months is in blue. And as you take a look, blue here, the RSI is only about 50. Whereas previously it was in the 60 to 70 area for the blue. So we are well below where Bitcoin normally is for this close to the halving. Now, a lot of that could be due to coronavirus fears. As a matter of fact, if you look at any news outlet, they're talking fear, fear, fear about everything. And everywhere you look with Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, people are talking fear. I mean, look at this, extreme fear for the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. For the past yesterday, last week, last month, for a month, Bitcoin has been in extreme fear. And there is a saying that you want to buy when blood is in the streets, even if the blood is your own. So even if you ended up buying Bitcoin at the highest, maybe you want to buy again now because the blood in the streets, it's a good time to buy. Be greedy when others are fearful and fearful when others are greedy. So that's basically all the stuff going on. I know a few of you guys have been participating in this syndicate program that Crypto.com has where you can actually buy crypto at a discount. So right now they have Ethereum, the second biggest crypto, at a 25% off discount. So if you want to find out more about that, just search for Crypto.com syndicate. You basically stake your Crow tokens or Monaco tokens and then you can get Ethereum at 25% off, which is pretty cool, better than paying retail price. So let's talk about what's going on. Let's answer some questions. First question, we will answer Florian's question because he had the first question here. So basically he asked about MACD. So I'll just pull up a little MACD here, even though it'll show up weekly, I'll answer his question. We'll pull up some MACD. Okay, you can see the MACD line is a blue line, the signal line is the orange line, and then we have the histogram down there. Now, if I scroll back and find Florian's question, it was so long ago. He asks, how do you trade the MACD? What do you do at the day of the cross when the cross might still appear, disappear that day? Good question. So all I do is I check once per day, generally around the same time. Okay. Now it doesn't matter what time of the day. It could be 9 in the morning, it could be noon, it could be 5 o'clock, but I just try and be consistent. I check one time per day. If it's crossed, I trade it. If it hasn't crossed, I don't trade it. That's it. Simple as that. Good question, Florian. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know about MACD trading that I've talked about previously, let me get rid of this histogram because it makes it easier to see. And we just delete this. So basically with MACD trading, now this is the weekly MACD, so we'll just change that to daily because that's what I actually trade on the daily MACD. If you see, when these cross, it does a decent job of predicting the lows and the highs. Now, not perfect, but let's see. If you would have sold here at this MACD cross, okay, you would have sold at somewhere roughly in the middle of there, about 10,148. Now, if you bought in back when it crossed again, you would have bought somewhere around 6,170. So you would have almost doubled your position in Bitcoin. Okay, so there's another sell coming up back up. But the thing with MACD trading is not every one do you win. You just need to be consistent because in general, you win. You don't win every single trade with a MACD, but in general, you win. So that's that. Obviously not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I just make YouTube videos. Duh. How did you make that big green bar on the chart? I think I answered that. Photoshop. Let's see. Any other questions? The moon says we're going to $1.2 thousand. Yeah, you think we're going down there? Everybody's saying the price is going down now? I don't think so. If you want to find out more, seriously, check out this video on, you just search YouTube and then you find Crypto Love Hyperwave, just like that. I made a whole video about Bitcoin hyperwave theory. Is $1,000 Bitcoin possible? And it is extraordinarily unlikely. I like how a lot of people are talking about $1,000 Bitcoin right now because that means it'll do the exact opposite. Let's see. Bro, stop criticizing others. You promote Tron gambling site. Yes, that's a use case for cryptocurrency. I still support Tron projects. Even though whatever Justin Sun does is whatever Justin Sun does. All right. Cool. So that's all the questions for today. And I guess if you have no more questions, that's it for the episode. Do I think the price will go up? It certainly feels that way. Back here in December feels exactly like what we're going through right now, which is possibly what might be coming. Do I trade alts as well? Not for the past long time. I can't even remember because right now alts are just dying. If you take a look, I would have a hard time finding it, but there's a Willy Woo chart. It is maximizing altcoin strategy. There we go. This chart here, there is a newer chart that Willy Woo has done just showing how altcoins are all dying. He basically says there's oscillators and there's degenerators. Degenerators are ones that just go down, oscillators go up and go down. But if you take a look, I mean, Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go down. And especially now, until we do have a point where Bitcoin starts taking off, I theorize that after Bitcoin starts taking off, then altcoins will start taking off. As a matter of fact, I made a video on it a while ago. Let's see if I can find that video to show you. It'll give you a chance to ask questions if you have them. Alt season, no. Oh, there's this video you could watch, why altcoins still suck and what you can do about it. So that, if you want to know about trading altcoins. There's also, where did I go? This video here, 5 months ago. Don't sell Bitcoin and buy altcoins now. At that time, everybody was talking about how now is the time to buy altcoins. And I said, absolutely not. Do not sell your Bitcoin and buy altcoins. I actually tell you in that video specifically when you should be buying altcoins. So if you want, search don't sell Bitcoin and buy altcoins now, and you will find that video by me. Let's see. In between again, Dream Bay. Oh, Ross Ulbricht says that Bitcoin's going down to 1.2, not Moon. All right. If we have another MACD cross, will it say that we are going to find lower levels? How low? The MACD doesn't predict prices. It's actually a lagging indicator, so it's behind the price action. So if we find it again, it's actually behind the price action. So the lowest price would have been here on March 13th, whereas the MACD didn't cross to buy until March 21st, almost a full week later. And again, the top would have been here on February 12th. It didn't say to sell until February 15th. So it's a lagging indicator. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. Fantastic video. Thank you. How can we expect a short-term rise of the price when everything is getting messed up with the virus and bad economics everywhere, plus the miners keeping the price down? Ooh, do we have proof the miners are keeping the price down? Well, I don't exactly know, because for the miners to keep the price down, they would have to keep on selling it. Now, once there's a halving, which happens in 30 days, the actual cost for them to mine a Bitcoin doubles. So unless they have a whole bunch stockpiled, which generally miners don't, because the thing is, they need to, they have a huge operation that they're running. They don't have the money to stockpile it. They can't keep selling off to keep the price down. So once the price doubles, the miners are going to hold it until they actually get the price that they mined it for. They can only operate 3 to 6 months of, working in the negative. I don't think I have that video up anymore, but I did interview 3 miners back in December 2018 to ask them how long they could go with that. Now, how can we expect a short-term rise of the price when everything is getting messed up with this virus? We can't expect a short-term. I think trying to look at this with a short-term view is a very poor viewpoint to look at Bitcoin, because it's based upon economics. It's based upon supply and demand. And if we take a look at Bitcoin, it is really the only asset class that has a fixed or actually a diminishing supply. Everything else is growing. People compare it to gold, but there's actually more gold being mined every year. So Bitcoin is something that actually has a decreasing supply, so we can't really compare it, but it's not a short-term type of view. Again, if we take a look at Bitcoin price over time, this is 10 years here. This isn't overnight. This isn't 1 month. It's short. It's having a narrow focus on short-term gains that is going to get most people screwed, because most people, they want to make money now, short-term. They want real fast money, and so they leverage trade Bitcoin, they trade on margin, and then they lose it all. But if you look at the wealthiest people in the world, they have taken time to do it. Now, some of you are going to say, but what about Ty Lopez, and what about all these people on YouTube who make a lot of money? Well, exception to the rule, but the thing is, most of the people on YouTube, social media, who have made a lot of money have done so by selling you the dream that you can make a lot of money. It's not actually because they made it some other way. If you look at probably 99% of millionaires in the world, it's taken time, years, decades, more than that. But it is something where it compounds. They use the compounding effect. Okay, Einstein said that's one of the greatest things on earth. The law of compound interest. Warren Buffett says the same thing. Compound interest. If you use it in your favor, then it works wonders. Everybody looking for a get-rich-quick scheme gets burned. The voice is low. Turn up your speakers. Okay, so basically it shows we could see a lower price from Bitcoin. Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, me personally, not a financial advisor, not telling you what to do, I dollar cost average Bitcoin, because there's no way to know when the lowest price is. Okay, everybody thinks they can buy the dip, but that's the biggest crock of shit I've ever heard. Just buy regularly, because then buy a fixed dollar amount regularly, because then when the price is low, you buy more. When the price is high, you buy less. It's like the best strategy ever, but everybody just wants to be this genius trader, which nobody is. I guarantee there's 0 genius traders watching this channel. I'm not a genius trader. You're not a genius trader. So just do what statistically works. Again, not financial advice. Let's see. Well, we do consider a massive layoff, sell-off. Clearly not ordinary people selling. So what? There's manipulation. There's Bitcoin accounts, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies combined account for such a small market share of the world's money. Okay, if you take a look at that, there's a thing that's like, what would it be? It's all of the world's money. Infographic. Here we go. I think this is it. All of the world's money in one visualization, comparing the world's money and markets. So we have all of the silver here. Okay, each square this big is $100 billion. So we have all of the world's silver right there. All of the world's cryptocurrency right here. Guess what? Less than 2 of these giant squares is all of the world's cryptocurrency. Then we have the biggest companies. They're bigger, bigger, bigger. The richest people, bigger. California's GDP, bigger. Fed's balance sheet, bigger. Actually, that's a lot bigger now because they just over doubled it. Currency, bigger. Gold, bigger. Stock markets, bigger. But that's not it, guys. Global money supply, even bigger. Global debt, even bigger. But that's not all of it, because there's global real estate, which is even bigger. And more than that, there's derivatives, even bigger, 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 bigger. As a matter of fact, the high-end estimate for all of these derivative contracts is $1.2 quadrillion. That's many orders of magnitude higher than Bitcoin. So when we take a look at Bitcoin and how the price goes up and how the price goes down, really manipulation is very possible. Let's see. So don't show but you need to see these graphs. Are good for you. You know, on the other hand, good graphs that you should be looking at would be things like this. Ready? How about this one? COVID-19 stats. I'm not sure if you can see this, but we are reaching the logarithmic part of the chart. You see that? Boom. Growth is over. We have reached, this is the exponential growth phase right here, and now we're at the logarithmic decay phase. So guess what? It's over. That's the good news. That's good for everybody. Cool. All right, so that's all the questions for today. Like I said, guys, it feels similar right now to what we were going through right back then in December 2018. And based on, you know, the greed, there's extreme fear right now. So be greedy when others are fearful, fearful when others are greedy. Take it for what you want. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't sell your crypto. Obviously, not financial advice. Do whatever you want. But there's better ways to get money than selling your crypto. For example, borrowing against your crypto tax-free and then paying it off later when you have your job back. If you want to do that, check out Celsius Network. I put a link in the top of the live chat. I'll also put one down in the comments so you can check that out. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good one, and I'll catch you later. Peace.